Stop whatever you're doing right now and check your pockets, your drawers, your old jars full of coins, because what I'm about to tell you sounds unbelievable, but it's happening right now across America. Ordinary people are accidentally spending coins that could be worth more than a luxury house, tiny pennies, small pieces of copper and steel that most people ignore every single day. But hidden among those forgotten coins are silent fortunes that collectors are fighting to get their hands on. And here's the scary part. Some of these coins look completely normal. No diamonds, no gold shine, no obvious clue, just a simple old penny that could secretly be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Today, we are uncovering 3 of the most shocking Lincoln wheat pennies ever discovered. These coins are rare, powerful, and becoming harder to find every single year. One tiny detail can change everything. A small mint mark, a strange color, a surface nobody understands. That's all it takes for a coin to jump from 1 cent to life-changing money. But listen carefully. The final coin in this video is so rare and so valuable that most people would never believe it unless they saw the auction records themselves. And by the end of this video, you may never look at pennies the same way again. So stay with me until the end, because every coin gets more shocking, more valuable, and more dangerous to ignore. Let's begin with the first hidden treasure, the 1943 D Lincoln wheat penny. At first glance, this coin looks cold, dull, and strange. Most people don't even realize it's a penny when they first see it. That's because this wasn't a normal copper penny. This coin was created during one of the most intense moments in American history, World War II. Back in 1943, America was under pressure. The war was consuming huge amounts of metal. Copper was desperately needed for military equipment, ammunition, communication devices, and war machines. The government needed every possible resource to support the fight overseas, so the U.S. Mint made a historic decision. Instead of using copper for pennies, they switched to steel coated with zinc. That one decision changed American coin history forever. Suddenly, pennies looked silver instead of copper. They felt different, sounded different, even weighed differently, and millions of Americans were confused when they first saw them in circulation. But among all the 1943 pennies, one version became especially important to collectors, the 1943 D Lincoln wheat penny. The D mint mark means this coin was made in Denver, and Denver mint coins from this wartime period carry a special reputation in the collector world. Production was moving fast, workers were under pressure, mistakes happened, variations appeared, and many coins were damaged, lost, or destroyed over time. That's why surviving examples today are becoming harder and harder to find. Now here's where things get serious. Most people think valuable coins must look perfect, shiny, clean, beautiful. But real collectors think differently. In fact, cleaning a rare coin can completely destroy its value. And this particular 1943 D penny became famous because of something most people would wrongly call damage. Small black spots on the surface. To ordinary people, those marks look ugly. But to serious collectors, those spots are proof. Proof that the coin still has its original untouched surface. Proof that nobody polished it or cleaned it. Proof that the coin survived decades exactly as it naturally aged. And originality is everything in the coin world. That's why collectors become obsessed with coins like this. They are not just buying metal, they are buying history frozen in time. Think about it for a second. This penny may have passed through the hands of factory workers during World War II, soldiers' families, grocery stores from the 1940s, gas stations, restaurants. Real people living during one of the hardest periods in modern history. And somehow, this tiny coin survived. That survival alone makes it powerful. Now imagine holding it. The steel composition gives it a cold metallic feel completely different from traditional copper pennies. It weighs only around 2.7 grams, making it lighter than normal Lincoln cents. Its silver-gray appearance instantly separates it from the warm brown tone of regular pennies. But the craziest part? Most people still don't recognize its importance. Even today, people accidentally throw away old steel pennies thinking they are worthless junk coins. That mistake could cost someone a fortune, because when rare 1943 D Lincoln wheat pennies appear at major auctions, the atmosphere changes instantly. Collectors stop talking, phones come out, bidding becomes aggressive. Everybody in the room understands one thing. Opportunities like this are disappearing fast. And then comes the number that shocks everyone. Some examples of the 1943 D Lincoln wheat penny with original untouched surfaces in strong condition have reached values around $260,000 in today's collector market. Yes, for one penny. One tiny coin most people would ignore without a second thought. That's enough money to completely change someone's life. And experts believe the market is only getting stronger. Why? Because demand keeps growing while supply keeps shrinking. Every year, more collectors enter the market searching for original, untouched coins. But every year, fewer real examples survive. Many have already been damaged by cleaning, corrosion, or careless handling. That's why collectors move fast when they find authentic examples. And if you ever discover one yourself, listen carefully to this warning. Do not clean it. Do not polish it. Do not try to make it look newer. That single mistake could instantly destroy thousands of dollars in value. Instead, protect the coin carefully and have it professionally graded by experts who can confirm authenticity and condition. Because in this world, tiny details change everything. And this is only the beginning. Because the next penny is even more shocking. A coin most people would reject immediately because of its rough appearance. Yet collectors are secretly paying enormous money to own it. Now things start getting even crazier, because the next coin proves something most people never understand about the collector world. Sometimes the ugliest looking coins hide the biggest fortunes. That sounds impossible, right? Most people believe expensive coins should look perfect, clean, bright, beautiful. But in reality, some of the most valuable coins on Earth look worn, scratched, dirty, and completely ordinary. And that is exactly why the 1949 D Lincoln Wheat Penny has become one of the most dangerous hidden treasures in circulation today. At first glance, this coin looks like nothing special, maybe even worse than nothing special. You might see scratches on the front, marks on the back, dark surfaces, heavy wear from circulation, the kind of penny many people would instantly throw into a jar or spend without thinking twice. But collectors see something completely different. They see authenticity. They see survival. They see history untouched by modern cleaning or artificial polishing. And in the coin world, originality can be worth an absolute fortune. To understand why this coin matters so much, we have to travel back to post-war America. The year was 1949. World War II had ended just a few years earlier. America was changing rapidly. Families were rebuilding their lives, industries were booming again, cars filled the roads, businesses were growing, and coins moved constantly through the economy every single day. Pennies were heavily used during this period. People spent them at grocery stores, diners, gas stations, candy shops, and vending machines. Coins didn't sit protected in plastic holders back then. They lived hard lives in pockets, cash registers, and purses. That heavy circulation destroyed millions of coins. Most 1949 pennies became damaged, cleaned, bent, corroded, or completely lost over time. That's why surviving original examples today are becoming incredibly difficult to find. Now let's talk about the mint mark. This coin carries the famous D mint mark below the date, meaning it was struck at the Denver Mint. And Denver coins from this period are especially important to collectors because of their production conditions. The mint was operating under heavy demand, producing massive amounts of coinage at high speed. That pressure created subtle variations in characteristics that collectors study very closely today. But here's the detail that changes everything. This particular coin still carries its original circulated appearance. The scratches, the darker surfaces, the worn texture, to most people those things lower the value. But collectors often see them as proof the coin hasn't been altered. And once again, that word becomes extremely important. Originality. You see, many people ruin rare coins by trying to improve them. They scrub them with chemicals. They polish them until they shine. They clean away decades of natural aging. And the second that happens, the coin loses part of its identity forever. Collectors don't want fake perfection. They want real history. That's why untouched coins become so valuable. The scratches on this 1949 D penny tell a story. Imagine how many hands it passed through over the decades. Imagine the stores, restaurants, and cities it traveled through. Imagine sitting in someone's pocket during the 1950s while America was exploding with economic growth. This coin survived all of it. And somehow, after decades of circulation, it still exists today. That survival is what collectors are paying for. Now picture holding it yourself. Unlike the steel penny from 1943, this coin returns to the classic copper composition Lincoln cents are famous for. It weighs around 311 grams and carries that warm, heavy copper feel collectors love. Modern coins don't feel like this anymore. Today's coins feel lighter, cheaper, less meaningful. But older wheat pennies carry weight, they carry age, they carry presence, and serious collectors notice those details immediately. Now here's where things become intense. The market for original circulated coins has exploded in recent years. Collectors are becoming smarter. They understand that untouched coins are becoming rarer every year. More people are entering the hobby searching for hidden treasures, and online auctions have made competition even more aggressive. When a rare original 1949 D penny appears in front of experienced buyers, bidding moves fast, quiet, calculated, aggressive. Because everyone understands the same thing. Once coins like this disappear into strong collections, they may not return to the market for years. And then comes the shocking number. Some circulated original 1949 D Lincoln wheat pennies with untouched surfaces and authentic wear have reached values around $173,000 in today's collector market. Just think about that, a scratched old penny, worth more than many luxury homes, and most people would never even notice it. That's what makes coin collecting so dangerous to ignore. Hidden fortunes are sitting in plain sight while ordinary people continue spending them every single day. And according to many experts, this market is still rising. Why? Because supply keeps shrinking. Collectors are holding on to these coins instead of selling them. More people are learning about rare pennies through social media, YouTube, and online auctions. Demand keeps growing stronger while fewer untouched examples survive. That combination creates explosive value growth. And if you ever discover a coin like this yourself, remember this carefully. Never clean it, never polish it, never try to remove the scratches. Those imperfections may actually be part of what makes the coin valuable. Protect it carefully, store it safely, and have it professionally graded by experts who can confirm its authenticity and condition. Because in the collector world, even tiny mistakes can cost massive amounts of money. But believe it or not, the final coin is even more powerful than this. Older, rarer, more historic, and possibly the most shocking penny you will ever see. This next coin has survived for more than a century, and today collectors are treating it like buried treasure hiding in plain sight. This is the moment where everything changes, because the final coin on this list is not just rare, it is legendary. A penny so old, so historic, and so valuable that most people would never believe it could still exist in ordinary collections today. And yet, somewhere out there, one of these coins could still be hiding in an old jar, a forgotten drawer, or a dusty family box passed down for generations. The coin we're talking about is the 1910 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. And trust me, this coin is far more dangerous to ignore than people realize. At first glance, it looks calm and ordinary. Unlike damaged or heavily scratched coins, this penny often carries a softer and more attractive appearance. Its warm copper tone gives it a clean, historic beauty that almost tricks people into thinking it's common. But that's exactly the problem. People trust what looks normal, and because of that, they accidentally spend coins that could be worth life-changing money. Now let's go back more than 100 years. The year was 1910. America looked completely different from the world we know today. Cars were still rare. Streets were filled with horses and wagons. Factories were growing rapidly, cities were expanding, and the country was entering a new industrial era that would shape modern history forever. And right in the middle of that transformation came the Lincoln wheat penny. Introduced only 1 year earlier in 1909, the Lincoln cent was still brand new to Americans at the time. Before Lincoln appeared on coins, U.S. currency featured symbolic images instead of real historical figures. That means the Lincoln wheat penny changed American coin history forever. It became the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real person, President Abraham Lincoln, and the 1910 version belongs to the earliest generation ever produced. Think about that for a second. This isn't just an old penny. This is one of the first chapters of modern American coin collecting. Now let's talk about the missing mint mark. This coin has no mint mark under the date, which means it was struck in Philadelphia, the oldest and most historic mint in the United States. Philadelphia coins from the early 1900s carry massive importance among collectors because of their historical connection and their age. But here's why surviving examples are so rare. Back in 1910, almost nobody saved pennies. People didn't collect them, they spent them. Pennies moved constantly through stores, rail stations, restaurants, banks, and businesses. Over time, most became damaged, worn smooth, bent, cleaned, or simply disappeared forever. That's why finding an early Lincoln wheat penny today in strong original condition feels almost impossible. But somehow, some survived. And when they survive with original untouched surfaces, collectors become obsessed. Now picture this coin in your hand. The warm copper color, the solid weight, the feeling of holding something that existed before television, before airplanes became common, before modern highways even existed. This penny has lived through world wars, economic crashes, technological revolutions, and more than a century of American history. That kind of survival creates emotional power. Collectors don't just see metal when they look at coins like this. They see time itself. Now look closely at the details. Even after more than 100 years, Lincoln's face remains visible. The wheat ears on the reverse still show strength and design. The surfaces still carry their natural original appearance without artificial brightness or modern polishing. And once again, that becomes the key: originality. Collectors are extremely careful about this, because the second an old coin gets cleaned or polished, part of its historic identity disappears forever. That's why untouched coins become so valuable. This 1910 Lincoln wheat penny survived naturally. Its wear tells the truth. Its surfaces tell a story. And serious collectors know those details cannot be recreated once they are destroyed. That's why auction rooms become intense when coins like this appear. Experienced buyers immediately recognize the rarity. Phones start moving. Bids climb higher. Nobody wants to miss the opportunity because coins from the earliest Lincoln years are becoming harder to find every single year. And then comes the number that shocks almost everyone. Some original 1910 Lincoln wheat pennies in almost fine condition with beautiful untouched surfaces have reached values around $199,000 in today's collector market. Yes. Almost $200,000 for a single penny, a coin many people would ignore without even checking the date. That's the terrifying reality of the collector market today. Fortunes are hiding in plain sight while ordinary people continue spending them every day. And according to experts, values may continue rising even higher. Why? Because early Lincoln pennies are becoming more desirable every year. New collectors are entering the market. Historical coins continue gaining popularity online, and fewer untouched examples remain available. That combination creates explosive demand. And once rare coins disappear into major collections, they often stay hidden for decades, which means surviving examples become even more valuable over time. Now listen carefully. If you ever discover a coin like this, never clean it, never polish it, never scrape the surface trying to make it look newer. That one mistake could instantly destroy enormous value. Instead, protect it carefully and send it to a professional grading company that can verify authenticity and condition. Because in the coin world, tiny details can completely change the price. And now you've seen all three hidden treasures, 3 pennies, 3 silent fortunes. 3 life-changing discoveries hiding where most people would never think to look. But we're not finished yet.